Israel, a nation accustomed to conflict, found itself grappling with an internal crisis amidst a war. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, a figure as polarizing as he is powerful, sent shockwaves through the nation and beyond by firing his Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. The decision, announced as Israel remained embroiled in conflicts with Hamas in Gaza and Hezbollah in Lebanon, immediately ignited a firestorm of controversy. Gallant, a respected military figure, had been a voice of moderation within Netanyahu's government. His calls for a cautious approach to the ongoing conflict, including a potential ceasefire to secure the release of hostages, put him at odds with the Prime Minister's more hawkish stance. The dismissal exposed deep divisions within Israeli society, raising questions about the direction of the country and the future of Netanyahu's leadership. The relationship between Netanyahu and Gallant had been strained for weeks leading up to the dismissal. At the heart of their disagreement lay a fundamental difference in approach to the conflict. Gallant, advocating for a more measured response, stressed the need for diplomacy and a ceasefire to prevent further bloodshed. Netanyahu, on the other hand, seemed determined to pursue a decisive military victory, seemingly unconcerned about the potential for escalation. This clash of ideologies was further exacerbated by Gallant's public criticism of Netanyahu's handling of the war. His call for an independent inquiry into the security failures that allowed Hamas to launch a surprise attack on October 7 was seen as a direct challenge to the Prime Minister's authority. For Netanyahu, already facing domestic pressure due to ongoing corruption charges, Gallant's dissent was a bridge too far. The reaction to Gallant's dismissal was swift and furious. Across Israel, citizens took to the streets in numbers rarely seen in recent years. The demonstrations, fueled by a potent mix of anger, fear, and frustration, reflected the deep polarization that had gripped the nation. In Tel Aviv, the country's bustling cultural hub, protesters clashed with police, transforming iconic plazas into battlegrounds. While many protesters directed their ire at Netanyahu, accusing him of prioritizing his political survival over the nation's security, others voiced deeper anxieties. The dismissal for them represented a dangerous erosion of democratic norms and a silencing of dissenting voices. The protests, far from a fleeting outburst, showed every sign of evolving into a sustained movement. Section 4. Political Earthquake. The Aftershocks of Gallant's Dismissal. The political landscape of Israel, always volatile, was thrown into further turmoil by Gallant's dismissal. The move sent shockwaves through Netanyahu's already fragile coalition government, threatening its very survival. Opposition parties, sensing an opportunity, seized on the crisis, accusing Netanyahu of reckless leadership and demanding his resignation. The dismissal also exposed the growing rift within Netanyahu's own Likud party. While some members publicly defended the decision, others privately expressed their unease, fearing that the Prime Minister had overplayed his hand. The possibility of a no-confidence vote loomed large, throwing into question the future direction of the government and the country. Section 5. A world watching, international reactions and concerns. As Israel grappled with its internal crisis, the international community watched with a mixture of concern and apprehension. The United States, a steadfast ally of Israel, expressed its worries, urging all sides to show restraint and prioritize de-escalation. European leaders echoed these sentiments, emphasizing the importance of dialogue and peaceful resolution. The dismissal of a key defense figure during a time of heightened conflict raised questions about Israel's commitment to finding a negotiated solution. The international community, already anxious about the potential for a wider regional conflagration, urged Israel to uphold democratic principles and the rule of law. Section 6. At a crossroads, Israel's uncertain future. In the wake of Gallant's dismissal, Israel found itself at a crossroads, facing a future fraught with uncertainty. The country, already grappling with the challenges of war, now faced a deep internal crisis that threatened to further divide its people and paralyze its government. The protests continued, a visible reminder of the deep wounds that had been opened. Whether Netanyahu's gamble would pay off or backfire spectacularly remained to be seen. One thing, however, was clear: the events of recent weeks had shaken Israel to its core, leaving an indelible mark on its political landscape and raising profound questions about its future.